Hello and welcome. I'm Cloak and Daggerish, and welcome to my second episode in my guide series to Green Hell. In my last episode, we went through the tutorial and just went over a couple things with the controls and whatnot. And so now we are stranded in the Amazon jungle, and we need to survive and figure out how we're going to get out of here. But the first thing that we need to do in any survival situation is we need to establish three things. We need to establish a shelter, we need to establish a sustainable food source, and we need to find a way to get clean water. So in this episode, we're going to be covering the first one, how to build a shelter, and also how to save, because saving is kind of wonky in this game. Building a shelter, the reason you do that first is because it takes the longest to do, and it's not like you're immediately starving. So we got a little bit of time before we need to start worrying about food and water. So we're going to build a shelter in this episode first. So after you get through the tutorial, you will land next to this little pond here. And in the story mode, the map is always the same. So you will for sure be in this location. Now, what I recommend doing is there's one of two places where I would build to build a shelter. I would either build one right next to this water here because there's water to drink, there's sustainable food, and it just saves you a lot of running back and forth. The only problem is when we build our fire, there's no cover here, so we'll need to make some sort of cover for our fire. If you don't want to make a cover for your fire, if you run up the hill here and kind of go to this left-hand side, you can almost see a path up to it. There is a cave up here, right here. And you can build your fire in here, and when it rains, because we are in the Amazon, remember, which it's going to do a lot. Pick up this rock. Your fire won't go out, and you can keep cooking your food and stuff. Because it's super annoying to be cooking something, and then all of a sudden, it gets put out because it decided to start raining. Ooh, coconut. I'm going to grab that, because that's going to be super handy later. I'm actually going to set that right here. The only reason I grabbed that, I'm saving that, is because it's very critical for water later on, and I'm going to use that in a future episode here. I'm going to shoot them all back to back. But anyways, so before we can build a shelter, you're going to want to find a rock and a stick of some sort, like this one. And we need to craft ourselves an axe so we can, so it's easier for us to collect the materials that we need to build a shelter. So set your rock and your stick on the crafting rock and make yourself an axe. Alright, so now we got that covered. I'm going to build my shelter down here next to the water because I don't like having to run back and forth. I'm going to put it over here somewhere because over here is where I'm going to put my fire and my structure for it. Just pick that coconut up. We're going to save that for later. So let's open up our notebook here and go to our buildings. So in order to save the game, you need to build a structure, and it needs to say allows to save a game at the bottom. So you can either do the small structure or you can do a hut shelter. I'm going to do a hut shelter just because then I don't have to make a bed. I'm going to put it right there. Sleeping in this game does not save it. You have to save it manually, and you need the building. It's kind of weird how they did it. But anyway, so we need a bunch of sticks. So let's go cut down some trees. Get ourselves some sticks here. Okay, so with this long one, actually I'm gonna leave that because we're gonna need long sticks in a minute here. I guess I'll grab these two. I'm gonna just set these over here because we're gonna need those after we put all our little sticks in. Do the drop. All right, let's cut another tree down. It's good to grab little sticks too because you're gonna need those for making a fire later. Come on. And I think we're going to harvest this one because I only need 3 big sticks for my shelter. There we go. So we got 9 of those. That one's maxed out. Okay. Put all those in there. Now we need our long sticks. Now we need 1 rope, and then we're going to need a bunch of leaves. So rope is super easy to find. Just look for these big viney green trees, and you'll find the rope just hanging right off of them. Or the vines that you use to make rope. Which you really don't have to make the rope. Which is kind of ironic, I think. Alright, we got some of those. We'll run back down there. Alright, and now we need 13 palm leaves. Chop this guy up. And throw these bad boys on there. Excellent, excellent. Alright, just a couple more and we'll be good to go. Cool, our shelter is done. Just in time too, it sounds like. It sounds like it's about to rain. And there you go. So now we have the ability to sleep here, and we also have the ability to save the game, which is what I'm going to do. If you look down at the shelter, that is how you sleep, but in order to save, you're going to want to look just above it, and you should get a save prompt. And then you can go ahead and save it. And that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you found this helpful. Next time we will be talking about food and where we can find a sustainable food source and how to kind of take care of those needs. And so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future episodes of my Green Hell guides, as well as my other YouTube content. And I am now doing all my live streaming from Facebook, and you can find me at Cloak and Dagger Gaming /Facebook Live or whatever. I'll have a link to that in the description below. Be sure to check that out. I stream Mondays and Thursdays are my scheduled nights, as well as a bunch of days in between, just kind of randomly. So be sure to follow me on there so you get all the notifications for my live streams. And I think that's going to do it for this. And until next time, guys, you have a good one.